or
Oh,
lean in.
is that she wrote that?
Yeah, it's
Hmm.
like the. I think well, she was using it in a
Right.
mom working sense or something.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
she's way
Uh,
smarter than he is.
Yeah, he looks a
as
little
always,
goofy,
as
but
always.
He was
sorry,
smarter than
Mark, if you're
Dumbledore.
watching. And I know that I think it's relevant for pedagogy too, because in collaborative learning situations, it's really important to. And I think we got it, with the project. Um, it's important to encourage people and not just say no, we shouldn't do that, or you know. And I think I've internalized that a little bit in my other um, organizations and stuff. Although I fail frequently.
What have you You've internalized what?
Oh, the kind of the spirit of pedagogy in using supportive, encouraging language and um, just the nudge.
The nudge. All right.
Ted, Karen really enjoyed talking with you yesterday or last week.
Oh, we had a ball.
Yeah, she's really sharp.
Sure is.
Hmm. She's like, I've met this person. She's like such a good friend, and I haven't really had that good a friend in my, for a long, long time. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, we got to get her in one of Howard's classes.
Yeah, I think she's read so much of that type of.
He's going to
Yeah.
do the co-op lit class in September.
Oh, cool. Um, I thought he was off, resign or retiring from online classes.
No, he retired from Stanford.
Hmm.
Still going to do the online classes, maybe 2 a year, maybe 3. Depends on how
Hmm.
well the traction is in the alumni community. Um, there are a whole bunch of advanced classes he could be teaching us if there's enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me.
Mostly he just wants to paint his shoes and walk the dogs and do his pataphysical thing in the backyard.
And his lavender oil still.
Yeah, yeah. And now he's in a maker community in the high school.
Awesome.
He got all into Raspberry Pi and Arduino.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
he's like a kid, but he's really enjoying his retirement.
I know, and that's when like the greatest things come. I think when
Right,
you sort
right.
of just relax and focus and flow.
Yeah, so he doesn't want to commit to much right
Hmm.
now.
I'm trying to find the link for the alumni group,
Just a minute.
but
Uh,
it's
well, the
on
site
email
is actually
somewhere.
down this morning.
Oh, it is, huh?
I think Sam was working on it. Yeah.
Sam
Sam
Swan?
Rose. Sam Rose, he's the programmer.
Okay.
There's the link, but
Oh, okay.
the site's down. Sam's doing it, or
I
program.
see. Yeah. Okay.
We finally added blogs.
And for the benefit of those who might be watching, can you tell us a little bit about what the alumni community is and what Howard's classes are?
Well, Howard's classes are genius.
I know that.
he invented the term virtual community, and his classes are about think no tools, mindfulness, incorporating little Zen and
Hmm.
digital, cooperation literacies, and teaching people
Hmm.
how to actually use the internet, how to use tools to enable whatever you're doing digitally. And then we kind of call them the Lorax of cyberspace.
Yeah. And Howard Rheingold is who we're talking about, and he's a pioneer in the internet community field.
He and Stuart Brand teamed up way back with the Whole Earth Catalog, which evolved to the Coevolution Quarterly, and then evolved to the Whole Earth Electronic Link. We just took the Whole Earth Catalog and made it digital, and that's the oldest community on the net, still thrives. And
Ted, your camera is on the wall somehow.
Oh, sorry, kicked it. So that's still a thriving community, and Howard started a thread within all that called Virtual Community. He's really been the leader of the pack for all of that, one of the grandfathers of the net. So it's always a pleasure to be able to sit at his feet, although he won't let you do that.
No, he won't.
He's all about co-learning and co-teaching, where it's very collaborative and loves to break things and push boundaries. And so if you're a lifelong learner of any kind, you just can't help but gravitate toward him.
Yeah, I mean, he keeps coming up with new stuff. It's just incredible. Most people would sort of sit back and put their feet up. But
he's not just ahead of the curve; he creates it.
We like him.
I love him, and
yeah,
I've been hanging out with him now for 6 years online. I've taken every course he's taught, and sort of just he calls me the yeast.
Yeah, well, you're here, and like Howard shows up once in a while too.
Yeah.
But I think it's probably best that he doesn't, because
he loves to get things started and then just turn them loose.
Yeah, and he was really happy to hear that we had done the third handbook, and
it's really a slick production.
Well, it's getting there, and it's the cool thing is that it's very very peeragogically produced. I mean, I learned the environment of peeragogy through just producing the book and diving into patterns, and
it was a book and a process. But the Alumni Association, we did 2 classes. The first year he did Mindamp and blew all of our minds, and then he did Think No Tools, and then we just couldn't get more, and so we started an alumni group and stayed together for 2 years, and I was kind of the den mother for that. And we just were creating lots of content, lots of links, and just sharing among each other and creating community. Then it sort of came to its own conclusion, and you just have to let the groups go. So we did. Now we're reforming it because we've got about 360 alumni from all over the world. And there are about 60 people active at the moment. We're redesigning the site around the way we'd like it now. And we're trying to decide what would be of the most benefit for us. The other thing that's interesting is we've made it publicly readable. So anybody can read what we're talking about and posting. They just can't post unless they're at one of the classes.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that he's doing a.
Yeah, and we're also modeling. This is built on discourse, and we're modeling how you form a reputation community. So everybody starts at kindergarten level, and then depending on your level of involvement, you earn trust and badges and relationship currency, and that lets you move up into moderator status and able to edit and create. So we're doing the same thing that you all did with Peeragogy. We're modeling a process as well as content.
Yeah, well, I really, I think that we could benefit from observing that, because we had talked about, the difficulty of kind of getting people in and sort of engaged with the project and the process on a consistent.
I mean, I was I was involved in the original Peeragogy group, and then I did my little thing and didn't feel like I had any more to contribute, so I wandered off. But and when I wandered out, Joe and Charlie were sort of the leads.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden we've reformed the community, and Joe pops up from London, and I'm going, wait, I thought he was in Chicago with Charlie. So that's kind of how I loop back to you guys.
Yeah.
So wait a minute.
Joe had.
Yeah, there they are.
He had been out on a business trip and went to see Howard.
I think Joe's like a reincarnation of Lenin or Marx.
Yeah, he has a.
That look, where Charlie's more the
yeah, he's a little preppy. Charlie is. Oh, Charlie, hi.
Skateboarder with a PhD. Like
yeah, I was just showing the alumni group on Google Plus, which is not as broad as the one that you're. And why did you decide to? It was just features that you wanted to develop that were not.
Once you know, a lot of people only took 1 or 2 classes, and then they would sort of go their own way. So we tried putting every kind of platform we could out that would enable them to stay in touch. So I created the community on Google Plus, and then we did some Hangouts, and then we did some Big Blue Buttons, and we now I've created a Slack channel.
Yeah, I didn't quite latch into that.
We like Slack a lot, but there's another one. Well, there's a lot of them. There's Asana, there's Slack, there's Rip. They're basically all platforms that let you do group projects together.
You use Asana for the publishing, independent publishers of New England.
Yeah, it's pretty involved, and I like it because you can, both with Slack and Asana, you can retie everything back into Google, all the Google apps and Docs. So.
Yeah. Yeah, you can attach files and images.
Yeah, I think most of us who are committed to open source are pretty tied into the Google stuff, although Google's been making some odd moves lately. They're starting to look more like a stack and a walled garden than they are open source.
Well, it's bound to.
Pardon, Charlie?
Haven't they always been like? I mean, Google's always been more like proprietary, but like encouraging of like some open source stuff.
Yeah, they're sort of Apple and Facebook. Their message is, hey, you can come in, you can't leave. It's like Hotel California. Google,
nice.
Their message is more, come on in, and we're all bring your open source. Come on in, just going to be leaving it with us.
And you have to kind of prove yourself, you have to.
I mean, you can check out of Google, but all your baggage stays behind. So that would be.
I feel like those are all the same.
Yeah, I mean.
With what you just said. Yeah.
Yeah, we need a digital concierge.
Oh, this could be you, Ted.
So to be on the alumni group, I don't really need to have Slack, do I?
No.
Okay.
I just created the channel because one of the things the two things that we all seem to have in common at the moment is we need another 24 hours in every day to do whatever we're doing. And we've all these tools that we learned from Howard have kind of given a tsunami of data, and you're just trying to figure out how to sort it out, and you just don't have a whole lot of time left to do anything other than whatever you're focused on. So in order to catch anybody's attention for a nanosecond, it's got to be something really worthwhile. So Slack is for as people in the Alumni Association share what they're doing. We were thinking there may well be places where they could cooperate with one another, and Slack would be a great vehicle to enable that. So I just created it parallel to it.
Nice.
Ted, we're getting an echo now. Do you have headphones by any chance? Or?
No, I can put headphones on.
Okay.
It's gone away.
Maybe it has. I don't know. Maybe it was just the positioning of your microphone.
Good.
Well, the dog is busy loudly eating.
Oh my gosh. What kind of dog do you have?
It's a Rottweiler Australian sheepdog.
Dang.
Sounds very cute.
Yeah.
He's pretty scary, actually.
Oh man.
Wow.
You want to introduce him slowly to new people,
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
but quite protective.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, he's not mine. I'm sure I'm living in a place with
Oh,
some
you said
friends.
that. Yeah, you said
And it
that.
took almost 2 months before I could actually get in the door with that dog.
Wow.
They had to lock him up to let me in the house.
Jeez.
There, that should be better.
Okay, sorry about that.
No,
I
it's
don't know what happened there.
What
But now that he and I are buddies and he's not going to eat me anymore, he's a wonderful dog. Thickest neck I've ever seen on a dog. He's like a mastiff.
So he got more of the Rottweiler than the Australian, probably.
Yeah, he sheds like an Australian, but
Mhm.
he moves and thinks like a rock.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Charlie, what are your extracurricular or curricular foci this week?
I wanted to talk about that the idea for the submission
Yeah.
thing. That's right by you, Charlotte.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you want to screen share it or?
Not really. Like I said, I don't really want to do video, Charlotte. I don't know if I could be. I don't know if I could be more direct than that. I don't want to do video.
I do not want to do it.
Yeah.
But what do you think?
I could put the link in there, Charlotte. You could, if you want to
There you go.
share. You are absolutely welcome to do so.
Okay.
The link is
We
right
won't
here.
we won't put you on the spot in your
Right.
pajamas.
I do that. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that. The yeah. So I don't know. I was just thinking of. I feel like from like a peeragogy or a pattern perspective, the live events do a good job of kind of
Mm.
focusing us, getting us to like produce either a paper or a presentation or something that's like nudges us further down the road or something like this conference 2 years ago. San Antonio is where we did that accelerator thing where you and Joe joined,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, so I think they're good, or at least they're really good for me too, because you get like I don't know, it's just fun sharing other people, and then get the I'm vain enough to like the line on the resume, and yeah, I think all that stuff's that's good. But yeah, so okay, so in terms of what I want to do, the thing says there's like 3 core areas: policy, pedagogy, implementation, and then freely licensed resources, yada yada. So I was thinking it might like either and Ted, you had some cool like blockchaining one's learning management. I would like to know what you're thinking with that because I like blockchains and I like learning management, but that's a very slick phrase. Yes, I was thinking either something about like adoption of peer, something like really simple as a way to like either just like directly like kind of like you talk about the handbook or something directly or more like because we've done a good number of these things now, and I think it's just something, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the handbook's been out there. Something very like, I mean, almost direct as like marketing. Maybe even approach it more like we're buying a table or something as like a vendor or something, but not as direct. Um, does that make sense? Something we're about like more about like adopting.
Tell me
Sort of a-
again. I have briefly looked at what you sent, but and I'm willing to help. But tell me what the nut of it is.
It's in that link I just put in there. It's just there's no nut yet. It's just this is like an open education. The nut is yet to be defined, Charlotte. Um, it's just like an open education conference, basically. Is that what you're asking? A nut about the conference, or nut about what?
Yeah, the conference. What the paper is. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
like
know.
it's not. Yeah, it's not. It's a lot more low key than the Hill thing. A lot more low key. Um, they have like three core areas of interest: policy, pedagogy, implementation. Participants will examine how freely licensed resources, software, hardware, curriculum push the discussion around the cultural, ethical, and technical implications of freeing the education system. Blah blah blah. Facilitators are encouraged to develop activities that can be replicated in classrooms, professional development sessions, and other groups that could incorporate open education. We're looking to build a diverse team of school administrators, informal, formal educators, developers, makers, and engineers from all fields to lead 2 days of discussion and collaborative learning.
Mm-hmm.
Does that answer your?
Yeah, yeah, that's good.
Um, so I guess within that, like maybe we could pose it as a freely licensed curriculum. Um, I guess just yeah. So my idea is to use this as a way, as a vehicle to get better about talking about adopting the book, and then also, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
ideally, if Paola could get involved and we could get some information on what happened with that like Argentina rollout, the Argentina like Wikimedia Foundation, where they tried to use it in for educators and stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So I think that would be cool. So
I
that's
haven't
my
heard from her lately.
no. Um, yeah, she last week for this thing, but she's been she was really busy. She had
Yeah.
like she had some new
Yeah, there was.
group, so like some
Mm-hmm.
citizens thing or something. It was sounded demanding. Um, but yeah, okay. And then I see Ted has put some blockchain links. All right. Well, so that was my idea. So, what do you want to talk about? I guess the blockchain, Ted, or whatever
Yeah.
you were thinking.
Well, this came out of one of Brian Alexander's Futures of Education webinars about a month ago.
And then,
And
wait, sorry, one more question. Sorry to interrupt. And then I think I brief kind of understand blockchaining with like Bitcoin, but I don't know if you want to add.
oh,
You,
okay.
you, you might have already been planning to do it, but add an explanation of that term too.
No, I hadn't, but thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Greek to a lot of folks. Blockchain is a technology underneath Bitcoin. Most people understand Bitcoin in terms of money or new money or new digital currency, and that got all associated with the Silk Road and drug deals and all that kind of stuff. But the underlying technology of Bitcoin is called blockchain. Blockchain allows two things. It allows you to safely meet individuals or meet data of any kind, and in the exchange decide whether or not you want to have a transaction. So you can decide, do you think the currency being offered is of value and use to you, or do you think the communication and exchange is of any value? Once you go through the reputation trust part of all of it, you then blockchain it. And when it's blockchain, it becomes permanent. And then that's part of your record, and nobody can change it. We are trying to work as encoders that you would be able to edit your own blockchain, but right now you can't. Once it's permanent, it's permanent. So one of the immediate applications would be and you can imagine how blockchain is turning everything upside down. Because now you're not giving your stuff to Facebook or Google or anybody. You own it before you ever even have a transaction. So you can imagine, or at least I can imagine, how this could apply to a personal learner, where from where I'm at on the old side of the scale, where I can put everything that I've got on all my databases and backdrives and everything else, I can put into a blockchain for my own personal learning network and a knowledge garden and a brain and all that other stuff that's all related to just my personal learning over 60 years. As a parent, you can imagine how you can start creating a blockchain for your 5-year-old and how that child can then carry their own digital educational record all the way through college or whatever, and how easily that could be applied when you're then applying for jobs or creating a new startup or whatever. But the record is yours, and it's not just education. You can do your digital blockchain on all your information and your entire, you can take your digital footprints and break them down. So like Jerry Mikowski, who does the brain, his applications would be really, really widespread and applying blockchaining to almost any imaginable subcategory that you might want. But let's say you wanted to keep your recipes or your gardening or your, whatever. You can apply it to hobbies. You can apply it to anything avocational, anything vocational, anything educational, and where most people are putting it as business. But this is the way the world is going. Even Wall Street now is converting to blockchain, and they'll be there by the year 2020. So I just saw it in terms of its application for those of us that are lifelong learners, and started ramping that out to how that would work from a student's perspective. Schools are already doing it. They're doing the reverse as usual, and more of the Ferris Bueller thing. And that's the metaphor or the analogy people use. The difference with blockchain is Ferris can't go in and change the grades.
All right. That's awesome. That reminds me a lot of like a better approach to like open badges or something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
Like a simpler. I don't know if it's simpler. I guess in the back end or anything, but kind of a little bit. Well, this.
Yeah. So you can see as we start moving in this direction why reputation is going to be huge, because it's all really going to be about how you meet one another now and make these sorts of transactions, whether it's virtual currency or whatever. You can also see how gamers would want this. You can keep all your games, and you don't have to put it on PlayStation or Xbox. You can keep your own games. You can keep your own scores. And then there's that whole issue. This gets quickly to privacy and the open net, and neutrality. But you have to give away when you join all these games, or you join Facebook or Google. You have to give away almost everything, and this way it's your portfolio. You own it going in.
So this would take the place, theoretically, of a Google profile or a Facebook profile.
Oh yeah, when you go on Google or Facebook, you'll just simply kick in whatever your you'll just simply copy and paste or kick in your personal profile from your blockchain. Okay.
And there are technologies or software platforms that run this stuff, right?
Yeah, I put a few links up.
Yeah, I saw that last one.
There's a couple of big issues. One is spoofing, and then the initial door. How do you the trust network where you're first meeting and first starting, and that's why I say social reputation is going to become huge now. I want to know that the person I'm having any transaction with is, first of all, real, and is verifiable or gettable in a digital sense. And then I want to decide, as they do, is there, in this transaction space, is there room for us to cooperate and collaborate? And then there may be a middle ground where we do something and we decide that it looks safe. And so then we can make a commitment to a blockchain contract or however we want to exchange, and then it's permanent. So you can see if you're, let's say you were bidding on eBay, you can see how you'd want to, freeze your bid, and there couldn't be any complaints about it afterwards. That was what you bid, and that bid was accepted. That type of thing in terms of financial transactions. But you can also walk it out in a million different ideas. And that's going to become one of the absolute fundamental basis for how we're going to do transactions in digital space from now on. And we've learned a lot in the last 6 years in social media. I mean, we've learned.
No, yeah, there it is.
Yeah, that's got it kind of all combined in PLN. And
Oh, I know Ian O'Byrne. He was on our show one time.
Oh, nice. Nice. So I was playing with that idea when you all mentioned what we might want to talk about. This idea is, while it's fantastic, and when you hear it, you go, "Wow!" But very few people know about it. It's just the buzz has just started about a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you're scoring an 11 on buzzword use.
Yeah,
but the idea, I mean, is sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
No, you're not. Keep going. So that's why I was thinking if we made a proposal, this might be interesting to whatever you two all are doing or the community is doing. The idea of blockchaining it might be time to mention that.
No, yeah, that would be.
Yeah, I guess I just not really sure what the, how seamless it would be, and what the mechanism is for these little blocks. I guess it's a chain of blocks, right?
Yeah. We're down to the.
It's all in Minecraft, Charlotte. You just the blocks are in
I know.
Minecraft.
I'm happy to sound like an idiot.
You just gotta make your house.
Well, look at Bit of Trust. That's their approach to it.
Uh-huh.
Don't think of it. You're being too logical, Charlotte.
Yeah, and I mean.
Don't look for the. Yeah.
Right now, just think of the concept. It's safe.
So yeah.
I don't think Ted. I don't know how advanced Ted's knowledge of the Bitcoin blockchain is, or if Ted's like getting into the Bitcoin source code and making that better or something. But maybe Ted is Mr. Bitcoin.
People think he's in jail, but I'm not too sure. I'm not sure. I don't happen to believe he is.
Well, where's the blockchain that proves it?
There you go, Charlotte. Okay.
That's the whole point of it.
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
Well, then we'd have to move over to a seminar on deep web.
Yeah.
Or dark web.
So if we wanted to do badges for Peeragogy, should we set up a blockchain software first?
No, you should talk to Sam Rose, who's already done it all.
There you go.
Sam Rose.
Yeah,
right.
All right. Yeah. I gotta bounce. But great to talk to both of you. Amazing way to start my Tuesday. Thanks for being patient with me. And yeah, I'm gonna write up an email back to that group, Sam or Ted, about just saying I'll put the idea of what I was saying, and then I'll put just using the handbook more curriculum and try and get feedback on the Argentina thing, and then I'll put my version of what you just said in like 2 sentences in there, and then you can correct me or whatever if you want.
No.
Yeah. All right.
I
gotta go.
See ya. I've got to go too. I've got a meeting at 10.
Okay, I'm sending you Sam's email, Charlotte.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Do you want me to throw him on that thread? Or are you saying just in general?
I've got everything on your
the
Etherpad.
Thank you. Sorry, I should have more specifics. Ted, do you want me to email Sam about the event you're saying? You want to put him on that? Or are you just saying in general Sam's email?
I'm going to have all 3 of you meet one another, and he can.
I think he's.
He can explain discourse and how that applies to what y'all are talking about.
I just, I'm so concrete sometimes that I just need to know how you get started and then what you do, like.
Yeah,
we,
we need.
we love you
You
for
know,
it, Charlotte.
yeah,
We love you.
we do, and next time you're
Yeah.
out rolling, somebody needs to roll one for you.
Just
Okay.
yeah, this one. There you go. There you go. That'll clarify. That'll
Yeah,
clarify it.
yeah.
Exactly.
Show me the bit blockchain. Yeah.
Show her the blockchain. That could be your. That could be like your hashtag. Like I don't. No BS. Show me the blockchain.
Yeah.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it until I see the blockchain.
Okay. Well, we had a viewer from
Okay.
friend of mine from Missouri. I think he's.
All right. I actually gotta go. Okay. Bye.
See
Bye.
ya.
You're both awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Hey, thanks, Jeff.
Ciao.